Hello everyone, welcome to the video series on MCQs based on ESI Pharmacist previous papers. So in this video, I will explain 4 of the questions with answer explanation from 2016 ESIC Pharmacist paper. Let us look at the questions first. The first question is, myocardium is a special muscle tissue found only in. Options given are brain, heart, stomach and lungs. This is relatively an easy question, but understand this one. We have 3 different types of muscles are there: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. Skeletal muscle is the muscle which surrounds our skeletal bones. Smooth muscle is present in our internal organs as well as intestine. Cardiac muscle is present in the heart. So the question myocardium, myo means muscle, cardia means heart. That special muscle is present only in heart. Option 2 is the right answer. Now the next question, Manitol is, options given are loop diuretic, osmotic diuretic, potassium sparing diuretic, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Now mannitol is an osmotic diuretic. It shows its action due to its physical property. It increases osmotic gradient by which urination is increased, hence it acts as a diuretic. Understand this one. Mannitol do not bind with a receptor and acts. It just acts because of its physical property. So there are drugs which will not bind with receptors but show their actions. Another example is antacids, like aluminum hydroxide gel. It will not bind with any receptor. It shows its actions because of its chemical property. The property of aluminum hydroxide gel is a base. It combines with acid, neutralizes. So similarly, mannitol actions is because of its physical property. It increases osmotic gradient, causes urination. Look at the other drugs. Loop diuretics, example furosemide, bumetamide, torsemide. It acts at the loop of Henle, hence they are called as loop diuretics. They inhibit a symport called as sodium potassium chloride symport. So all the ions will be lost through the collecting ducts. Along with that, water is also drained out of the body. Hence they cause high amount of diuresis. That's why they are called as high ceiling diuretics. Potassium sparing diuretics, they spare potassium. That means they retain potassium inside the body by acting at collecting duct. 2 different kinds of classes are there. Spironolactone, which is an aldosterone antagonist, blocks aldosterone. Sodium, aldosterone is a mineralocorticoid which decides sodium metabolism. So it inhibits the actions of aldosterone and retains potassium. Whereas some other drugs are there, they block sodium channels at collecting duct. They are triamterene amiloride. They also retain potassium in the body. They are called as potassium sparing drug. Last one, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, acetazolamide, brinzolamide, dorzolamide. As the name suggests, they inhibit carbonic anhydrase enzyme. So this is about this one, and mannitol belongs to osmotic diuretic category. Look at the next question. The schedule to which list of drugs to be sold on prescription only belongs to. Now this is a tricky question. We all know about Schedule H, which includes the list of drugs which has to be sold only on prescription. When you see the options given are Schedule L, Schedule W, Schedule X, Schedule M. You don't see Schedule H. See, previously there used to be schedule called as Schedule L. Schedule L, all the drugs are moved to Schedule H. So the drugs which has to be sold on prescription or excuse me, they were put in Schedule L. Now Schedule L is removed, all the drugs are moved to Schedule H. But here the answer, you have only Schedule L is there, so the answer is option 1, Schedule L. Schedule W contains a list of generic drugs. Schedule X include the list of narcotic drugs. Schedule M has got good manufacturing practices. Let us move on to the next question. The formulation used for dental hygiene is known as. Options given are insufflation, snuffs, catchets and dentifrices. See, the formulation used for dental hygiene is dentifrices. The remaining options, insufflations are the dosage forms which are used in body cavities. It can be placed through oral cavity or through the nostril or nasal cavity. Snuffs are specifically used through nasal cavity. Catchet is a solid dosage form, a powder which is placed in a paper made up of rice flour. So bitter tasted powders are placed in this a particular packet which is made up of rice flour, and they are taken through the oral cavity. Solid dosage form. This is an obsolete one. Nowadays people are not using these things. But going back to the answer, the dental hygiene formulation is dentifrices. So these are all questions which are given in previous ESIC Pharmacist examination. I hope this explanation is useful. All the best.